ولا تموتون إلا وأنتم مسلمون وقال كذلك يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا فإن الأصدق الحديث كتاب الله وخير الهدي هدي محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وشر الأمور محدثاتها وكل محدثة بدعة وكل بدعة ضلالة وكل ضلالة في النار. All praise is due to Allah upon what He has guided us to, and we would not have been guided had it not been for the guidance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I want to start out by congratulating all of the believers for completing the appointed term and glorifying your Lord this morning, ala ma hadakum, upon what He has guided you to, which is this religion of Islam. And now that we come out of Ramadan charged up, we got work to do. It's not for us to finish fasting the month of Ramadan and then just go back to business as usual. Now it's time for us to get out there and spread this deen to the people, inshallah ta'ala, because sometimes we get mixed up as Muslims. Like we look at the news all day and what they tell us, it can't help but affect us. We can't help but buy into it. So they're telling us that everything is gravy and everything is okay. And we start to act like everything is gravy and everything is okay. And we start to think that this deen is just for me and my house, or me and my clique at the masjid. But we forget about the struggling people who live in the inner city of Oakland and the inner city of Berkeley and the inner city of Richmond and the inner city of San Francisco. It's not good enough for us to be guided and to not try to guide those people, because those people are being affected by an unjust system. It's an unjust system that's affecting our people here in the United States of America. And just because we're doing all right, that doesn't mean that everybody's doing all right. This is a nation that only leads the world in one metric. It doesn't lead the world in health care. It doesn't lead the world in education. I'm talking about the United States of America. This is the most powerful country on the face of the earth. If they wanted to lead the world in health care, they could. Because countries that don't have a fourth of the GDP have health care for all of its citizens. If it wanted to lead the world in education, it could. But it doesn't want to. The only metric that the United States of America leads in is incarceration of its citizens. It only leads the world in incarceration of its citizens. And why am I talking about that at Eid? Everybody like, come on, man. We want to hear something light. We gotta treat the Eid Khutbah like the State of the Union. Because we're not gonna see some of y'all till next year. So we gotta let people know that it's upon the Muslims to change this system, man. It's upon the Muslims. Ain't nobody else gonna change it. It's by design that 2.5 million American citizens are sitting in prison right now. It's not because those people are inherently bad. It's because the system is unjust. And how does that affect us as Muslims? Because if we don't try to change it for ourselves and our brothers and sisters who are Muslim, we're going to understand why little Ahmed gets locked up. Why is little Fatima doing time? Because this system is designed to incarcerate people. They make trillions of dollars. They almost bankrupted the state of California, building prisons and employing people to run them. And this is the United States of America. And I grew up right down the street when this was a black community. This used to be a black community. And all of those people's kids ended up going to prison. The kids that I grew up with ended up going to prison because every society, every community needs a mentor class. That's, once you get to be a certain age, your kids don't listen to you no more. They need somebody in between you and them that can show them the right way. Who's seen Kunta Kinte? Kunta Kinte looked up to the wrestler. He didn't look up to his father, because his father ain't cool no more. But when you live in a society, when the mentors get locked up, when I was 14, I stopped listening to my parents. We moved from Berkeley to East Oakland. I started running, my big homies. I had a big homie, I call him Jay. He seemed so cool to me, man. He had cars. He was a young entrepreneur. He was making more money than everybody in his family. He was the breadwinner of his family. I was like, man, this dude is, he had girls all over the city. He used to drive me around to Sabrani Park, Ruddsdale. They was killing people out on them streets. And I'm following him on them streets. Because my parents couldn't tell me nothing. I felt like I knew more than them. He was my big homie. He was my mentor. It was two of them. I call one J and one E. And this tells you just how much Oakland done changed. I was 15 years old. E said, come with me to seminary, man. We making money out there. I go out to seminary. He hooked me up with the shot caller. He said, hey, man, I want to put my man on. I was working at McDonald's. I was getting $3.35 an hour. These dudes was making that in like 2 minutes. The big homie told Aaron, tell that youngster to go back to school, man. He don't need to be out here doing what we doing. This was a drug dealer, man. He said, man, you don't need to be out here. You need to be in school somewhere. You ain't made for this. We need to mentor our youth. If you in your 20s and 30s, you need to be mentoring. You coming out of Ramadan, you need to be reaching to them youngsters and getting them out them streets. Because they think the streets is cool. They not gonna listen to us old fogies trying to tell them right. And they headed to these prisons, man. So it's on us, the younger ones, An example. There's a brother goes to my masjid. He's about 27 or 30, young guy. He came to me, he said, I want to teach a class on Saturday nights. I said, go ahead, brother. He been teaching a class since around about last Ramadan. Every shahada that we done got in the last year came from that young brother's class. People came to me, they said, why is he teaching class? He studied at Zaytuna or something? I was like, nah, man, he just reading a book. He reading a book, but people is listening. The young people is listening. The non-Muslim young people is listening. The Muslim youngsters, they too cool for his class. So he got roughneck hood dudes coming to learn. And our kids can't even go to learn. And it's because the society is broken, man. The society is broken. أقول قولي هذا واستغفر الله لي ولكم.
Takbir. Allahu Akbar. Takbir. Allahu Akbar. Takbir. Allahu Akbar.
Alhamdulillah wa salatu wa salam ala Rasulullah wa ala alihi wa ashabihi wa man wala. So just to switch gears a little bit, because it's still a happy occasion. You know, this is a beautiful, beautiful month of Ramadan. It was so beautiful that I'm missing it already. I went this morning, I went to McDonald's and got an iced coffee and felt guilty. I said, man, I don't need to be drinking this. I ain't had no coffee in 30 days, but it was good though. And it's a trip because going into this Ramadan, I said, man, we need to have some Ramadan meetings. So we started having Ramadan meetings, and the first meeting, a brother came to the class and never been to the masjid before. You know how a brother come in and you can tell he looking for the bathroom or something? I said, bathroom right there, brother. He go to the bathroom, he come out, he sit down, he was just waiting on prayer, he wasn't coming for the meeting. So then some other brothers come in and they pray to the side, he go pray with them. And then he getting ready to leave, right around the time I'm calling the adhan. And so I hear one of the young brothers named Zayd. You up in here, Zayd? Zayd was like, hey brother, you ain't gonna pray with us? And the brother said, I come back and I'll pray with y'all. So I finished calling the adhan, and I turned around, I said, brother, you look familiar to me, man. He said, man, you look familiar to me too. He said, my name is Jay. I said, you Jay from 13th Ave? I said, you used to live on 13th Ave? He said, man, I still live on 13th Ave. I just bought a house across the street from where I grew up. I said, man, my name is Sunday Atta. We hugged each other. I ain't seen that brother since 1989, man. And we met back up in the masjid. We met back up in the masjid. That's what this deen is doing. The brother accepted Islam in penitentiary. Why? Because Muslims would rather spend money on Hillary Clinton and Bob Dole and Ronald Reagan. They'd rather give money to these politicians than come into these hoods and try to do dawah. So black men and Mexican men, we learn about Islam in prison. That's right. That's a shame, man. That's a crying shame. That brother was an entrepreneur, man. Wallahi, if he would have been white, and it's not trying to be racist, this is being real, there is no way that his school wouldn't have singled him out and said, man, this dude's gonna be a future leader, man. We sat down and talked for the first time since 1989. I said, man, how old is you, man? I added like 5 years to my age. He said, man, I ain't that old, man. The brother was born 6 months before me, man. My big homie wasn't even a year older than me. So that means he getting ready for the prison, and everybody who he's mentoring is going to the same place. And that's life in these streets. And it don't have to be like that. Because if you accept Islam in prison, that means if somebody would have sat you down before you went, you would have probably become Muslim. You don't have to go to prison to become Muslim, man. We need to start intercepting people and stopping them. We can stop them, but we can't stop them unless we do the work.
That's right.
Now that we pumped up off of Ramadan, don't just let it go away, man. Go to your local masjid. Say, man, I want to teach a class. I'm 28 years old. I'm 30 years old. I'm 35 years old. I want to teach. I want to get involved. I guarantee these imams, they'll love to hear that. They'll love to hear that. If you a sister, be like, I want to teach a sister's class. Because they ain't trying to listen to no imam. Imams ain't cool.
Yes, I am.
No offense.
Yes, I am.
They was cool like 30 years ago. And I'm your last example, and then I'm really gonna finish. When I moved to go stay with my father on the East Coast, because I was like, this ain't going nowhere, and the drug dealers won't even let me get on. They like, dude, you need to go back to class. And I'm working at McDonald's, so I'm trying to hang with people. They got big bucks. Like, look. And I'm making $3.35 an hour. I get my paycheck, I'll be broke the next day hanging with them. So I go stay with my father, and then I meet a brother. I'm 18, he's 28 years old. He was 28 years old, and he was Muslim. He's more the reason I'm Muslim now than my father and any of, and not to say I love my dad.
Absolutely.
I absolutely love my father. But that brother was so cool to me, man. I was like, what you Muslim for? Muslims ain't cool. Why you Muslim? You know, you got stuff going in your direction. I started hanging with that brother, man, at 18. He gave me a job. He owned a pool hall and a pinball machine, not pinball, arcade place. This was before, you had to go put a quarter in a machine to play a game. Now you don't even have to leave your house. But he gave me a job. He gave my sister a job. His name was Abdul Khalik. May he rest in peace. He is the reason why I was like, I could be Muslim, I could do this. And it's a lot of people like me, man, who got Muslim parents, who they don't go to the masjid. You might see them every other 4 Eids. You run into them someplace, you be like, Assalamu alaikum, brother, where you been? You moved to Florida? They be like, nah, I live in San Leandro. that means we got work to do, man.
Absolutely.
La ilaha illallah. May Allah please bless everybody for what you've done this month of Ramadan. May Allah accept all of your fasting, all of your prayers, all of your charity. Please enjoy yourself. I didn't mean to be too heavy for this khutbah, but I really wanted to and the brother's sitting right there. You can raise your hand. His name ain't Jay, his name is Ahmed. Me and that brother grew up together, man. And it's a miracle from Allah that we both standing here right now. Because where we came from, a lot of people, they didn't make it, man. And that brother used to look out for me. He really did, man. So thank that brother. Anybody who got love for me, thank that brother. Because he made sure that he was like, okay, we can't go here because we got Sundiata with us. Allahu Akbar. And then may Allah bless everybody. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum. Eid Mubarak. I love Sundiata. The imams are the coolest people I know. Ibrahim alayhi salam is our imam. Muhammad the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasalam is our imam. Imam Warithuddin Muhammad is my imam. Imam Zayd Shakir is my imam. Imam Wali Muhammad is my imam. Stand up, brother imam. I don't know nobody cooler than these imams. And I'm cool as a cucumber, Cap. Don't forget that. And you young people, y'all need to get with us. Don't think that you can be a Muslim and not be raised up with your imam on the day of judgment. So I hope and I pray that Allah will bless us all to be raised up with Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salam, Muhammad the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam, our imams from this country and those imams throughout the world who have held up the Quran, who have held up the example of Muhammad the Prophet and made their contribution to the growth and development of this community. And though I'm 69 years old, I still got life pumping through my veins, and we gonna keep standing up for La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah, and we hope and pray that the next generation will carry it further than us and make more progress than us. And we love Al-Islam. We're pleased with the religion of Al-Islam. We're pleased with Muhammad the Prophet as our prophet. We're pleased with Allah as our Lord. We're pleased with Al-Islam, and we're pleased with our community. We can do better. Let's get better. Let's love one another. Let's work together, and let's be, as the Prophet said, like bricks supporting one another. Let's be strong, not weak. Don't get twisted because the media is lying. Well, you know, they've been lying for 1,500 years and we ain't stopped growing. Assalamu alaikum.
Eid Mubarak. Alhamdulillah. Love you, man. Love you so much.